Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is having a look at primarily the killing of Yahya Sinwar, the Hamas leader, and secondary, how that's been perceived on social media, particularly on X. So, the biggest development over the last 48 hours in the Israel-Gaza conflict has been the death of Yaya Sinwar, blamed for and by many as the architect of the 7th of October massacre across the border into Israel. So I've written some notes on this. I'll read them and I'll give you some personal opinions at the end of it. So in a significant development in the Israel-Gaza conflict, Yahya Sinwar, the de facto leader of Hamas, known for orchestrating the October 7th, 2023 attack in Israel, was confirmed dead on October 17th, 2024. Yesterday, during an Israeli military operation in Rafah, southern Gaza. This event, marking a critical juncture in the ongoing strife, has ignited a spectrum of reactions across social media platforms, particularly X, reflecting a mix of hope, vengeance and fear for what this might portend for the region. So the confirmation and aftermath, immediate aftermath. The Israeli Defence Forces confirmed Sinwar's death through DNA and dental records, following an operation that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described as the beginning of the end of the conflict with Gaza. This assassination was not yet just a blow to Hamas, but a symbolic victory for Israel, reminiscent of significant military achievements against high-profile adversaries, as echoed by comparisons to the death of Osama bin Laden by figures like Joe Biden. So the global reaction on X, the news of Sinwar's death triggered immediate and varied responses on X. There was support for Israel. Posts expressed relief and support for Israel, viewing Sinwar's elimination as justice for the atrocities committed under his command. Users like @PeaceForIsrael X celebrated, "Today, justice has been served. Sinwar's death is a step towards peace." There was concerns over escalation. Conversely, there was palatable concerns over potential escalations. @Gaza Watchdog X warned Sinwar's death might lead to more violence. What's next for Gaza? There was political implications. Political analysis and users focused on the aftermath's implications. @Middle East Now commented, "This could either end the war or spiral it into something worse. Israel's next moves are critical." Palestinian voices among Palestinian and pro-Palestinian users. There was a mixture of mourning for the loss of a resistance leader and anger towards Israel's actions. Free Palestine posted, "Sinwar's death won't end the struggle. It's just another chapter in our fight for freedom." And the international community responses varied from cautious optimism for peace to calls for de-escalation. @UN Peace Talks wrote, "Hope this paves the way for dialogue and peace, not more conflict." So try to analyse the public sentiment. The discourse on X underscores the popularisation and complexity of Middle Eastern politics, symbolic victories versus symbolic loss. While Sinwar's death is celebrated by some as a strategic blow to Hamas, others see it as potentially galvanising further resistance against Israel. Humanitarian concerns. Well, there's discussions also veered towards the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, with users like Humanitarian Aid highlighting, "While we discuss Sinwar, let's not forget the ongoing humanitarian disaster in Gaza." And prospects for the future. The debate on whether this event could lead to de-escalation or further conflict remains unsettled. Future of Gaza posed, can Israel and Palestine move towards peace post-Sinwar? So to conclude, Yahya Sinwar's death, while a definitive moment in the Israeli-Hamas conflict, has not resolved underlying issues, but might have opened a window for dialogue, or conversely, could lead to a vacuum that invites more violence. Social media, especially X, has become a battleground of narratives, reflecting not just the immediate reactions, but also the deep-seated hopes and fears for the region's future. as the world watches, the next steps from all parties involved will determine whether this chapter in the conflict leads to a new era or further turmoil. What I thought was pretty incredible was the footage that came out, the volume of it, the quality of it, of this man's killing. Drones flying through holes in walls that had been bombed to within 10, 15 feet of him to actually make sure it was him. It was crazy. And he seemed to be still alive before the fatal shot blew his head off. And you've seen complete opposite reactions. You had people taken to the streets in Israel. I'd never heard of this man before. But when you see Israelis celebrating so much and the volume of traffic on X, this guy was obviously a serious operator within Hamas. And what I've always said, is particularly when you hear and you have the occasional bit of dialogue with pro-Palestinian people, is who seem to suggest that the only way of ending this conflict is to take the guns and stuff off Israel, take guns off one side, and they see the only outcome for peace is a defeat of Israel. And I don't buy into that, and I'll tell you why. Hamas have not had elections for 15 to 20 years in that country. So they are now dictators because the people haven't voted for them. And even when they did vote for them 15, 20 years ago, the suggestions that it might not have been a fair election. And since then, they've never allowed the people of Palestine a follow-up election. And I kind of feel sorry for the Palestinians in the fact that they're caught in the middle of this war. They probably don't want a lot of them. And I kind of think when people say they want what's best for the people of Palestine, my suggestion is, well, let's remove Hamas and let the people of Palestine vote in people who are maybe not warmongers like Hamas and don't want to go and kill thousands of people and take folk hostages at music festivals and stuff. You know, people that are maybe normal people. That violence is a last resort. And I think if Hamas can be defeated and we could put some sort of democracy into Gaza, we could benefit the people in Gaza far more than having them under the control of Hamas. And I'll explain to you why I get to these decisions and views. We hear all the time that we must give more money and more. The Scottish Government done it again yesterday, where they donated even more money to charities in Gaza. And although I'm quite positive there are shortages of supplies for normal population, I kind of can't figure it out how Gaza always runs out of money for water, for food and for medicine. But they never run out of money for guns and bombs and bullets. I find that peculiar. And if we removed the people who have this endless need for guns and bombs and bullets, then the people in Gaza will have more money for food and water and medicine. And that just seems sensible to me. So, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notification button. Put your comments below, I always like to read them. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that wants to kill and maim people in the name of religion and things like that, not you. Not you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.